This is a football, and we're going to talk football on this show. How do the Bears stack up against other NFC competitors? And Ross Tucker back on the program today as well. Got a lot to get to. CHGO Bears starts right now. This is the CHGO Bears Podcast from our Xfinity Loft in the West Loop of the greatest city in the world. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg Braggs Jr. with you today. Greg seems to lost his hair and his pants, but he's here.
We're here. We are here.
You know, Greg came in today with a very focused walk and the strut of a champion, and we're gonna be talking to a champion later today in the show. So it's
because the Bona Beef champion is here. The champ is here,
and I don't know what it is about when I come to the studio, especially lately. But I have this
arrogance.
No, it's not arrogance. That would be you. But no, it's more of this inclination to want to be violent.
Yeah, you look like you want to kill me.
No, it wasn't that. There was a guy on 394 I almost pulled over and got in a fight with. So if you're watching this show,
was it 394?
394 coming here from
the path from
the region.
Is that
guy tried to run me off the road and we almost had it. We almost had a moment. We almost had to pull over by Harborside Golf Course and have a moment. Then I saw White Sox Dave was out in the region calling it vile and decrepit, and I texted Big Cat that I'm going to choke him out too if he doesn't stop calling the region vile and decrepit. So yeah,
now we're threatening Barstool. Great.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Dave come into my town and start calling things violent. Of all people, to call anything vile and decrepit, White Sox Dave.
Wow. Picking a beef with the old...
Stay out of the region, Dave. Go back to Comiskey. Or whatever the hell you call it.
Comiskey's a great place right now, and I'd love to see any White Sox fans out there. With Dave, with anybody.
I asked you if you would give me a tour of the region yourself.
Car, I'm talking to your microphone. For the love of effing... it's unbelievable. You're over here.
Oh, okay. Gregory... I'm asking you.
Yes, sir.
For a tour of the elite.
No.
Why not?
You know, if the deal goes through, I'll show you around. Until then, it's pointless.
Why is it pointless? I don't care if the deal goes through or not. I just want to experience.
You drive through it once a year, going to the combine, and that's enough for all of us.
But I want to learn. I want to hang out with you. Hang out with Thomas McDermott. Just take me to all the cool spots.
Okay. Yeah.
What are the cool spots?
I'll consider
Z3PO said I-364, otherwise known as the Slagway.
Z3PO. Better watch it today.
Just know that whenever I'm offering myself up to be
good.
I'm not even saying that I'm not disputing. I just want to go, but I want to go with the mayor, the self-proclaimed. What do you call yourself?
Mayor of Bearstown.
Mayor of Bearstown. Great. I want to go with
Mayor
you.
Mayor McDermott might fight me on that as the actual mayor.
Well, I'd like the real mayor to be included in the hang because he offered and we could play golf and do all the things. Hoge, are you coming on this trip or no?
Is there golf? Yeah. There's golf.
Yeah, as long as the Bears don't rip it out in the.
I don't think you have to worry about that anytime in the immediate future. You know, the distant future, maybe so.
Let's build a championship on the field.
Yeah, that's what I thought we were talking about here, not threatening other people. But, Greg, this is your segment. You've been wanting to talk about this for a while. It started with a Daniel Jeremiah tweet a week ago. It's a very interesting discussion.
Yep.
and it has to do with how the Bears stack up from a roster building standpoint. So why don't you take over here?
Yeah, it was interesting. About a week ago, as you said, Daniel Jeremiah put out a tweet from NFL Network, of course, does a great job. And he listed certain criteria that teams have to meet if they have any hopes and desire to win a Super Bowl. And it's a pretty interesting list that he came up with. And I think the thing that it makes you kind of realize no football team is going to be perfect, right? So every team has flaws. So where do you make up for those flaws in other areas? But Daniel Jeremiah kind of had a list of hard line, no negotiation. You got to have these players if you want to win it all. And so these were Daniel Jeremiah's championship requirements. And obviously, number one, you need a quarterback. You need 3 offensive playmakers. You need 3 quality O-linemen. You need 2 pass rushers. You need 3 defensive playmakers. So I just thought this was an interesting exercise just to see where exactly the Bears are at, and in comparison, not just to Daniel Jeremiah's requirement list, but also how the last few Super Bowl champions kind of stacked up to this. Mm-hmm. So let's walk through it. You guys just chime in whenever you're ready. But the 2023 Super Bowl champions, that would be the Kansas City Chiefs. I found this to be interesting, right? Because you got obviously Patrick Mahomes. But I was hard-pressed to find 3 offensive playmakers. They didn't have Tyreek Hill anymore, remember? You had, Kadarius Toney with a huge touchdown in that Super Bowl, right? But you did still have Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, right? And then Rashee Rice was like the next top receiver for that team.
Right.
But would you exactly define Rashee Rice as an offensive playmaker? I don't know if I would. Now, just going through this here quickly, but Joe Tooney, we all know him. Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, check. 3 very quality offensive linemen. 2 defensive linemen. I added one because actually I didn't edit this here, so I apologize. But on the D-line, sorry, this somehow didn't get edited. But Chris Jones, they've got a few other defensive linemen I'll have to pull up. But then the 3 defensive playmakers, George Karlaftis from Purdue, Nick Bolton, L'Jarius Sneed, Justin Reed, kind of reaching a little bit with safety. But, I think when you kind of look this over, they didn't have the 3 offensive playmakers, but you had the quarterback, right? Yeah, so that kind of makes up for it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to – so I like what Daniel Jeremiah is doing here, but I think there's got to be a little bit of wiggle room, because if you think about it, and I'm going through my roster pyramid right now, right? So – like, Patrick Mahomes is going to be worth more.
Right.
Because he's an all-pro. Same thing with Kelce. Travis Kelce, especially still in 2023, was the gold standard at tight end at that point, right? So my point is, if you got a blue player, if you got an all-pro there at one of those spots, you can probably you probably don't necessarily need 3 red players, which I would say good starters that you win because of. You could probably afford that one of those guys is more of a purple player, a solid starter.
Right.
So I think so it's another way of saying, like, I think Daniel Jeremiah is obviously on the right track here if the sum of the parts sort of add up to what he's getting at. But there can be some fluctuation when you have the best quarterback in the league. Let's think about it this way. If you don't have Patrick Mahomes, you got to make up for it elsewhere, right, which the Seahawks did because they didn't have Patrick Mahomes. They had Darnold. So right. It's a different equation, but it still adds up to a Super Bowl.
Right. So he's giving, in my mind, just a very basic ground level criteria of you have to be able to put this ball in the end zone and you have to be able to stop the other team from doing it, basically. He's just calling out, in my mind, that you need a well-rounded roster. What you're talking about, Hoge, is that if you're really elite in one of these categories, well, then the calculus changes because you have, in the case of the Chiefs that you started with here, Patrick Mahomes. In the case of the Seahawks last year, you had a defense that was on the high end. So, you didn't need 3-star playmakers. makers on offense. I mean, we haven't gone through it yet, but you're not going to find that on the Seattle team last year. But so, I mean, I think it's, when this comes to the Bears, it's just the exercise is noteworthy because you start to look at the defense and you realize that they're, as far as getting to the quarterback, the Bears are not there yet.
So, if you want to take it from here, we've got the other two, 2024 and 2025 Super Bowl champs, and it's basically the same rundown. I mean, we don't have to break it down into every
but it is interesting. Nuance. So let's look at the Eagles from 24. Jalen Hurts. So that's a good point. Like Jalen Hurts is not an all-pro in my mind. I would say that he's probably a good starter.
But this was the one championship team for me that I didn't have to reach to find the criteria. They were loaded.
Well, but I think that sort of proves what we're talking about. Like the Chiefs got away with not necessarily having all of these spots solidified because they had Mahomes, because they had Kelsey. Now those guys in the last couple seasons have taken a little bit of a step back. They've been dealing with injuries. They've gotten older, and now you see them get exposed like they did last year. That's why they had a tough season. In this case with the Eagles, they can get away with Jalen Hurts at quarterback because when you have Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, obviously on the offensive line, they check the box probably even beyond 3 offensive linemen, to be honest. But Mailata, Dickerson, and Lane Johnson. And then you add on the defensive line, Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter that year. And then they had all these guys they plugged in there, like Zach Bond had that amazing year after coming over from New Orleans, Reed Blankenship, Cooper DeJean, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I don't know if I would have thrown C.J. Gardner-Johnson in there.
He actually had a pretty good year for them that year.
So
it's your guy.
That's a well-rounded roster, what they had. And they beat the Chiefs in that Super Bowl.
They beat the brakes
soundly.
Yeah.
And then so let's quickly then look at the Seahawks, because, again, this is a different type of team. Sam Darnold, I think, of the 3 quarterbacks we've mentioned here over the last 3 years, we would probably all rank him 3rd. Although, I don't know. The way he played last year, maybe I don't know.
I mean, he threw 4,000 yards. He had a very good year. There's not a big difference between him and Jalen Hurts. But go ahead.
Yeah, and then wide receiver wise, they had Jay Assett. Now he was amazing, but
that was it.
This is an interesting team.
They traded for Shaheed, but he didn't actually get that many catches.
Right. I think they really got it done with the defense.
Correct.
Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, Byron Murphy, Kobe Bryant, Devin Witherspoon, Ernest Jones, Nick Emenwari, great draft pick, played well as a rookie. I don't know that they were so loaded on offense, but they found a way to do it. And then, the one thing we're not talking about, though, in any of these situations is the coaching.
Right.
That obviously matters, too.
Well, that should be on his list also.
Right, you should have an elite head coach.
Right.
Now, I don't know.
Would you say Nick Sirianni is an elite head coach for the Eagles?
I don't think our friends at PHLY right now would say he's elite.
I would say that I would augment that point with, if you don't have an elite head coach, you better have an elite coordinator.
A loaded roster.
Right. You can get through a Nick Sirianni if you're dialing up a Vic Fangio.
Right.
So
the Chiefs, you can lose Tyreek Hill and be throwing to some no-name wide receivers, but you have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Gary Ross is asking for love for Jason Kelsey. If my timeline is right, he was not on that team.
Wasn't that his last year?
That was his last year?
No love for Kelsey. How does that sound?
Hasn't he been retired for 2 years now?
I have no love for Kelsey. I'm kidding. All right, well, let's get into the Bears.
What?
2022 was his last year.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's been a few years now. That was part of what was impressive.
So if you want to love Jason Kelsey, Gary, you go right ahead, but he wasn't on that team. Now, let's get into the Bears.
2023 was his last year.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
The point stands.
Point stands. I'm just messing around.
Point stands, Hoge 1,
Hoge
Ross 0.
Hoge greater than Gary in this moment.
Gotcha.
Love you, Gary.
Caught your hand in the cookie jar. All right. Now let's get into the Bears and let's see.
Go Hoosiers.
$1 million question. Do they meet the criteria or even come close, right? So here it is. Without further ado, the 2026 Chicago Bears roster, and do they meet the championship requirements? Obviously, you have Caleb Williams. 3 offensive playmakers, Colston Loveland, Luther Burden. I think we all feel pretty good about their trajectory of meeting that. DeAndre Swift and Rome Odunze, I put in parentheses with a question mark next to them because for me, it's like kind of crazy that you would not put a guy that was part of a running back room that was one of the best rushing teams in the NFL, but he's also not Saquon Barkley. And then Rome Odunze, I haven't given up on him. It sounds like Hoge's team Rome, while some are starting to move off of Rome Island.
I'm not selling my stock.
But does he meet offensive playmaker criteria yet? I don't think he's earned that title as a lock-it-in permanent marker. And then you go over to offensive linemen, 3 quality offensive linemen. I think this one, it didn't say 3 of the best offensive linemen. It said 3 quality offensive linemen. So I think you can say with pretty fair confidence that they have quality offensive linemen across the board short of left tackle,
yeah, look,
obviously.
But again, what we talk about, Joe Thuney is a blue player. So Darnell Wright's on the cusp. If he comes around in pass protection like he played in the run game, he's a blue player. And then Jonah Jackson, I thought, did play like a starter that you win because of last year. So I think they fit the offensive lineman criteria.
All 3 are quality offensive linemen. And I think Garrett Bradbury's a quality offensive lineman. Now, are they great offensive linemen? That not all are going to meet that criteria. But quality, you're not going to say Garrett Bradbury, the starting center for a Super. Well, you were kind of moving your head there.
No, I am moving my head. I'm absolutely moving my head.
He had 0 sacks given up.
I'm not talking. No, that's not where I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going like if. In the case of the Bears offensive line, if we're trying to do the nuance of this game, well, when your left tackle is a complete question mark, it does throw the whole thing into the mix. Like if you're telling, I have no, if
did it last year?
Yeah, see, I think last year actually proves what Daniel Jeremiah is trying to prove here. It's like if you have 3 quality offensive linemen,
you can work around it.
Then you can survive at left tackle. And they actually had 4 quality offensive linemen last year because they had Drew Dahlman.
Right, but at the end of last year, you're moving your quality offensive lineman from left guard to left tackle, and you're starting a guy that nobody remembers his name right now, Jordan McFadden, and did they have a prolific last game of the season? No, they didn't. Now, was that on the offensive line? Sure, you can compensate for it, but that's not really, I think, what we're trying to do here.
No, I disagree. I think that is what we're trying. I think it's accepting and understanding. Like, we look at it constantly just through a Bears lens. But, to what you're saying, the left tackle's not there, so it becomes a trickle-down effect. Every team has a spot on their roster, multiple spots on their roster that they have to make up for. You're not going to have a perfect roster.
Thuney had to play left tackle for the Chiefs.
Right.
And what happened?
But they got to the Super Bowl.
They got smoked.
Yeah, I know.
They got there.
Are we not trying to win the Super Bowl? I mean, we're talking about Super Bowl teams.
Right, and Daniel Jeremiah is telling you 3, not 5. You want 5, and I get you're striving for perfection.
But I'm talking about positional integrity. You're like left tackle to me.
I think you're sort of missing the point. You're trying to build a Super Bowl caliber roster. No one's saying you're guaranteed to win it. You're saying that Chiefs team was bad just because they lost to the Eagles?
I'm saying that to look at the Bears offensive line right now as a strength is a bit of a stretch. I'm not even focusing in on the fact that you could be starting a rookie and or Garrett Bradbury at center. You're still, to me, when you have a huge question mark at left tackle, I can't sit here today on whatever.
Well, and to be fair,
I get the exercise.
To be fair to Carman, it isn't about building a championship potential roster. Daniel Jeremiah is saying to win a championship, you have to have these. So let's get to the backside of this with the Bears here, Steven, and finish this thing off, because obviously we all understand where the real question marks lie with the Bears and their potential of winning one. Well, you need 2 pass rushers, according to Daniel Jeremiah.
Wait, time out. Do you need 2 pass rushers or 2 defensive linemen?
2 pass rushers. I just did it where it was smaller, so the words didn't creep across the screen.
Got it.
And then 3 defensive playmakers. So 2 pass rushers. So they can come from anywhere. They don't have to just be defensive ends. But obviously hard-pressed to find 2 pass rushers on this team. Montez Sweat gets the nod.
For sure.
That's,
See,
and then Austin Booker.
Right, but right.
And I put a question mark next to him because he's still got a lot
Well, he's
to
not
prove.
on there right now. But he could be. If he continues what he did late in the season and puts it together for a full season, then you could say the Bears do have 2 pass rushers. Now, do they have Myles Garrett or Max Crosby? No. But they would fit this criteria if Austin Booker takes the next step. And then I think there's a good chance that on defense, if Jalen Johnson's healthy and Dillon Thieneman is who they think he is, along with Kobe Bryant, who you had listed under the Seahawks last year as one of those defensive playmakers, right, then they would fit that criteria too.
And then so let's go into the defensive playmakers for the Bears, Steven, just to put a bow on this. But that's where I think it is encouraging, where they fall short on pass rushers as of right now. I think they have a lot of potential with defensive playmakers from Kobe Bryant, who was one of the playmakers listed for the Seahawks last year. And then I have a lot of question marks, so I have none of these written in marker. These are guys that are written in pencil for various reasons, whether it's injury or new to the team or being a rookie. But Devin Bush, Kyler Gordon, Dillon Thieneman, Jalen Johnson, I think all have the ability and potential to be the defensive playmakers for this team. But, as I said, some different reasonings of will those things actually come to fruition.
Well, what you're doing here is describing exactly what the Chicago Bears are. They are a young team that has the potential to put it together and be a Super Bowl team this year if a list of probably 5 different things happen. If Rome Odunze establishes himself as one of those offensive playmakers, if Dillon Thieneman becomes what Nick Emmanwori was for the Seahawks, if Austin Booker takes that next step, and that's what I've been trying to harp for these months, is you can't solve everything in free agency. There's 6 months of draft and develop season, right? And that's where the Bears are right now. And they're hard at work as we're talking right now at House Hall, trying to get these players better. They have the coaching staff that is not, we said earlier, is not being included in this. Right, your ability to coach these guys up. So,
what's the number one thing that you would like to see happen in the draft and development stage? What's your number one to get the Bears to be in a position at bare minimum to win a Super Bowl this year, deep playoff run? What's the number one thing?
Well, Caleb Williams wins the MVP.
Right. Now, what's number 2?
Austin Booker becomes a stud.
Exactly. Do you disagree? Do you agree with that?
It's play quarterback, get after the quarterback.
It's
those are the 2 things.
It's quarterback.
I would say number 1, Caleb Williams. Number 2, offensive line health.
Okay. I mean,
I think their offense is more important than their defense at this point.
Well, but Caleb's not doing what you just said without.
Well, on this list, you need 3 quality offensive linemen. Right now, our left tackle spot is in shambles.
Yeah, but I think they have the 3.
They do. But, you start dealing with injuries and you start having to move chairs around the deck.
I also think we're losing sight of the fact that the offensive line isn't in any different spot than it was last year. In fact, you could argue that if Braxton Jones is healthier than he was this time last year, it's in a better spot.
Sure. But it is important because we're not just talking about protecting Caleb Williams. We're talking about keeping that run game at the level and elevating what they did last year, because that run game was a big part of the reason they got where they got.
Let's be clear. I'm not trying to dog Garrett Bradbury, which I'm seeing some people saying in the chat. I think Garrett Bradbury was a very intelligent trade by Ryan Poles, and I expect him to be the starter this year. I mean, maybe Logan will beat him out. But is Garrett Bradbury better than Drew Dahlman? Nobody would say that. No. So that's a downgrade. All right, and then when you go over to left tackle, to Hoge's point, you're right. Braxton Jones is in a better spot this year, but and maybe Theo will get better, or maybe I don't know, Jared Wilson or whoever somebody will step in there, but it's still a question mark. But to me, it's are you going to get to the quarterback? So to me, the way you're if Austin Booker pops off this year and is a dynamic dude getting to the QB, and Caleb hits from year 2 to year 3, the Bears are going to be right there. They will be there.
Yep. And to finish things off, just for the exercise sake, let's take a look at the new look Los Angeles Rams with a Myles Garrett and how they fit the 2026 championship criteria, according to Daniel Jeremiah. Obviously, you have Matthew Stafford, 3 offensive playmakers. They've got a ton of them. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams. They've got Blake Corum's another running back. They got 4 tight ends. I had to stop listing the amount of offensive playmakers that the LA Rams have. It's pretty ridiculous. 3 offensive linemen. A little bit of a stretch here. Alaric Jackson, Kevin Dotson, I think beat that. Rob Havenstein, he's kind of a fringe there, but I gave it the nod. 2 defensive linemen. Rams don't have to worry about that. They have a loaded defensive lineman featuring Myles Garrett, the big trade that happened after CHGO Bears aired yesterday. Haven't had a chance to talk about that. And then 3 defensive playmakers. A little bit of a stretch there now that they've lost some guys, but your thoughts here on the Rams and their championship requirement, and more importantly, what Myles Garrett looks to change the. I mean, the Rams and the Bears. This is what I was saying last night. The Rams and the Bears were both on the doorstep, right, of a Super Bowl appearance. Right, both were fighting to get to the NFC Championship in overtime at Soldier Field. And if I were to tell you of those 2 teams, one team was going to stand pat with their defensive line and play it safe through the offseason, and another team was going to take a huge swing, you would have bet that it was going to be the Bears taking that huge swing on the defensive line, and it would have been the Rams standing pat. And in fact, it's the opposite. It's kind of shocking.
Well, I actually don't know that I would have said that.
I don't know if I would have
This
said
is
either.
the Rams' MO. They trade their picks. They don't.
They
care
definitely
about their
do,
picks.
but they're crazy.
Well,
I mean, it's
just out of curiosity, because Austin Booker is not Jared Verse, but would you have done Booker a first, a second, and a third for Garrett? Would you have done that trade if the money worked?
Yeah, if the money worked, yes.
Would you
But
have
they
done
wouldn't
that?
have taken
For
that
who?
trade.
I'm saying,
Would you have done the Rams
would you
trade?
have traded a first rounder, a second rounder, a third rounder, and Austin Booker for Myles Garrett? Would you have done that trade?
yeah.
Okay.
with Austin Booker and not.
Well, sure. Okay, would you have done? Let me.
Jim offered. He said, "Would you have done that trade for?"
We'll find out later what Jim had to say. We can save that for tomorrow's show. All right, we need to take a break anyway. We got Ross Tucker coming up on the program. We'll talk to him about the big trade, what he thinks about the NFC situation right now. But that was a fun exercise going through what these rosters look like right now. Well, Ross Tucker coming up next, but first. Hey, we are all looking for ways to stand out at work. Some of us shave our heads.
Some of us
sing a lot.
I mean, I got lots of options for if we're looking at standing out. Sure, why not? Let's do it.
Well, why don't I give you a better
other of
idea?
us have hackneyed
Yeah.
trite football comps to their stadium reporting.
It's a good point. It's a good point. Hey, what if I told you that there's an easier way, though?
What's the easiest way, Hoge?
Well, you could save your company hundreds of thousands of dollars, believe it or not. You sign up for a free facility assessment from ComEd. There you go. Their engineer will give you free insights and actions that could help save your business on energy costs. We're all trying to save on energy costs right
We
now.
sure are.
That's right.
That's for sure. So basically, they're just going to create a plan to help you stand out and your business save for free.
Love free.
Do this. Visit ComEd.com/facility assessment to learn more. Actual savings will vary based on customers' usage and rate.
That's right. Shout out ComEd and shout out to our good friends over at Four Seasons. Whether your AC stopped working, you're dealing with a clogged drain, or you need an extra outlet installed, Four Seasons has you covered here this summer. They're available 24/7 for emergency services with no extra charges for nights, weekends, or holidays. This is tried and true. My buddy Justin had an emergency over Memorial Day weekend, called Four Seasons, no questions asked. They were right there on the spot. Shout out Four Seasons. Summer heat is here. finally this weekend getting a couple 90-degree days, so don't wait for your AC to break down. Call Four Seasons for a complete AC tune-up for just $89.95, backed by a 1-year no breakdown guarantee. Four Seasons, your trusted local experts for heating, air conditioning, plumbing, sewer, and electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com.
Always love talking football with Ross Tucker, host of the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Good to have Ross back on the show. A lot of news yesterday on June 1st. Ross, thanks for jumping on with us.
Yeah, my pleasure. Always great to talk with you guys.
So we were just kind of stacking up how things stand in the NFC. It seems like a lot of teams trying to stack up on defense here. The Bears, meanwhile, didn't really load up on their defensive line, but they're banking on Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams taking that next step forward. How do you kind of see this thing sized up now that the Rams went out and added Myles Garrett?
Well, listen, I think that there's a very real chance the Rams were the best team last year. You know, I mean, they were truly one play away in both of those games in Seattle, the Thursday nighter late in the season, which determined home field advantage. And then obviously the NFC Championship game. And that was a pretty fluke play on the Thursday nighter, the 2-point conversion. It's been talked about a lot. And so they were a play away, and they thought, let's go get a player that can be the difference and make that play in Myles Garrett. I think you have to admire the way the Rams go about their business and the way they attack it. The flip side of that, by the way, is that they could have lost to the Bears. You know, I mean, they very easily could have lost to the Bears in overtime in that Soldier Field game, which was incredible that I got a chance to call for Westwood One with Kevin Harlan. But I do think Myles Garrett is a significant upgrade over Jared Verse. That's not like breaking news. They're a little bit different players, but I am, like a lot of people, curious to see just how productive Myles will be with a team that should have the lead quite a bit. I do think, though, I'm trying to remember the last time a team that was the prohibitive favorite and that went all in ended up being the team that won it that year. I mean, I'm sure it's happened. I know a few years ago the Chiefs were probably the favorite after they'd won it the year before, and they went back to back. But it feels a little bit different with the way the Rams approach and going with this trade with Myles Garrett.
What's your thoughts on the Bears offseason, Ross? Do you like how they've gone about their business, signing Kobe Bryant, not addressing the D-line, and being pretty aggressive drafting offensive players?
I think it's hard to cross off every item on the list that you want for a wish list for an offseason. You guys know I do the Eagles preseason games, so I follow them pretty closely, and certainly they haven't done that in the minds of a lot of their fans. And, it's impossible to argue that they got better yesterday by trading A.J. Brown to the Patriots. So there's always sort of an ebb and flow. Just because of my background, I'm most intrigued by the left tackle and center positions for the Bears. I do like, obviously the Drew Dahlman retirement was unfortunate, but I do like the fact that they got sort of a reliable veteran guy in Bradbury, but then backfilled him immediately with Logan Jones. I've done Iowa, Nebraska, 2 out of the last 3 years for CBS. I'm a big fan of Logan Jones. I think he's going to end up being a really good starter in the NFL. And so they kind of doubled down at that spot to try to replace what they had in Dahlman, who was a good player. By the way, has he said anything? Has he talked to anybody about his reasoning or logic for retiring?
No, hasn't done an interview, hasn't really explained it. He just kind of seems content being away from football.
And he was, accessible in the locker room with us last year. I mean, Drew Dahlman was like somebody you could talk to basically any day of the week. So it is interesting to your point that he's kind of kept quiet about it. But the family history with the health, it seems to be the reason why he retired.
Yeah, I mean, you would think so. He wore the helmet, that the O-line specific helmet, and the contract was pretty interesting the way it wasn't like a huge signing bonus up front, so that he would have to give back a lot of it. Yeah. So that there's just a lot of interesting aspects of the Dahlman thing for sure. But my point is, I think they'll be okay at center. I think they'll be fine. I don't think they'll be as good as they were with Dahlman last year. I think they'll be okay. Left tackle is the one that I know we'll all be keeping an eye on. I don't know. I mean, you guys are there every day. What are they currently projecting for Ozzy in terms of when he'll be back?
Yeah, I mean, I think best case
Never.
scenario is no.
Well, not this year.
Also,
Wow.
no. No, they're saying it's possible late in the season that he could, but it's a big if. Like it's also possible that he's out the entire year. So, but basically, they got to go into this thing, Ross, not counting on Ozzy Trapillo being a part of it. It's Braxton Jones right now, Karan Amagaji, and the prayer they threw out there for Jedrick Wills to bounce back from his crazy injury history and be a first-round pick again.
Well, and I would also submit to you, just because it's June 2nd or whatever today is, that doesn't mean these rosters are set.
Right.
There's going to be a lot, if you look, there's going to be player movement between now and that first game. So if the Bears still don't feel comfortable, not that these other teams have, starting caliber left tackles just hanging around, but if these other teams, that have some depth, and if the Bears don't feel good about their group, maybe it's the Philadelphia Eagles. I think Fred Johnson played more snaps at tackle last year than Lane Johnson did because there was injuries to both Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson, and Fred was able to hold it down pretty well. The Eagles just took Markel Bell in the third round out of Miami. So if Bell plays well and the tackles for the Bears aren't playing as well as they want them to, or they don't feel good about it, there are other guys out there that they could bring in. Aren't going to be Pro Bowlers, but might be good enough to not be the reason why the Bears lose games if they're concerned that the guys they currently have could be.
Yeah, I was just going to say when you were asking about Drew Dahlman, I mean, I'm not going to speak for Drew, but I think part of the context that's important to at least note is that his dad did suffer a severe neck injury back in the early 2000s that forced him to medically retire early. So maybe that was a part of the equation, maybe not. But you mentioned working for the Eagles in the preseason, and obviously they brought in some, when they went on their Super Bowl run, we were just doing a championship requirement segment earlier before you jumped on. And, they brought in some defensive backs, some rookies that made an impact. The Bears draft Dillon Thieneman, safety out of Oregon. So I'm curious from your perspective, how fast do you think he can become an impact player, a playmaker, somebody that can change games and maybe help the Bears get over the top and get to an NFC Championship?
So both of these things you guys have been talking about, the D-line and Thieneman, perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I'll answer the Thieneman question first. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean were both awesome right away. And to be honest with you, the Eagles kind of knew it. I can't remember who was hurt for them. So they had thrown Quinyon Mitchell at nickel for the first couple weeks of training camp. And he had never played nickel before, and he was playing really well. And Sirianni said something to me like, he's just really good. And he is. I mean, first team All-Pro last year. And then Cooper DeJean, he had an injury, and he missed time. I think that's why Mitchell might have been at Nichols, because Cooper was hurt. He was really good right away. So it's certainly possible, and obviously something that the Bears feel like is super important. That's a lot of resources that they put into the safety position. You can tell Dennis Allen highly values it to give Kobe Bryant what they gave him, to take a guy in the first round to go with the other guys. It was fascinating to me how many of the Bears DBs from last year, it was like a mass exodus, but it does feel like the Bears kept the guys they wanted. They still have Jalen. They still have Kyler Gordon. They still have Tyreek Stevenson. I think those other guys, and you guys are there every day, but I think they were comfortable with those other guys leaving. I don't know how much of an effort they made to even bring them back. I will say this, though, because you guys started the segment talking about D-line. You know how 150 million people watch the Super Bowl every year, whatever the number is, but only 50 million watch the conference championship games? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're one of those 100 million people that just watch the Super Bowls, you would think that D-line is by far the most important position. Because last year, it was that Seattle D-line coming at you in waves and destroying the Patriots' offensive line, getting all over Drake May. The year before, the Eagles' defensive line just dominated the Chiefs up front. They were all over Mahomes. That's back-to-back years where you would say you just need a bunch of guys on that D-line to get after the quarterback, to get after the other team. And you're talking about, whatever it was, championship ingredients. I'm not sure the Bears are there. I'm not sure the Bears have exactly what they need to get that done with, the depth and coming at you in waves and having a number of guys. Now, I saw where Grady came out recently and said he needs to play better. And if he did, that would certainly help. But I do think that's another position where if you're the Bears, you're looking out for anybody either inside or outside that you could add to the rotation that you think could give you meaningful snaps later in the year and hopefully in the postseason.
Yeah, point well taken. I mean, it's an interesting way to look at it, specifically from the Super Bowl standpoint and how much the D-lines have been dominant. Before we get to future fans, Ross, while Myles Garrett was getting traded yesterday, the big story in Chicago had to do with their stadium situation. Stadiums tend to be a very hyper-local storyline where if you're not in the bubble, you probably don't really care about it. However, I'm going to ask you this question because you were at Soldier Field for the last game. You saw that atmosphere. You witnessed it yourself. Somewhat being lost in all this stadium conversation about where they're going to play is the fact that they're committed to the fact they're going to put a roof over it. I'm just curious, from your perspective as a former player who maybe has thoughts on grass versus turf, roofs in cold weather climates, whatever, what you think about the Chicago Bears potentially playing in a stadium that would be very different than the atmosphere you saw in the playoffs?
It's a great question. I got a couple thoughts. One is I recently had my 25th college reunion, and I've got several buddies that are from Chicago, and I can't even imagine what it's like for you because the one guy is adamant that the Bears would never do it. They'd never move to Indiana. It's just totally a leverage play and that they're going to stay in Illinois. The other guy who I think deals with the political climate in the city a little bit more, he had a different viewpoint, which is, I hope they move to Indiana. Indiana has their stuff together. Indiana's not, sitting on their hands. Indiana's doing, and by the way, he's from South Side and said Hammond or whatever it's called is closer to his house than Arlington is anyway. And so I thought was very intriguing. They have two guys, college teammates, with those divergent viewpoints was fascinating. The atmosphere for the divisional round game against the Rams was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Every aspect of it. I love Soldier Field. I love that it's on the lake. I love that it's downtown in the city. I love when there's flurries and it's cold and those people embrace it and love it. I'm not a fan of domes unless I'm on sideline duty for radio. I'm not a fan of domes at all. I like grass. I like the weather element. I think it's what makes, football different, football unique. I think when you play inside, it feels a lot more antiseptic. And that's just not how I grew up playing in Pennsylvania. And I wouldn't want that for the Bears, just like I don't want it for the Browns. But evidently they're getting it. There's some talk about that in Philadelphia. The thing I don't understand is everybody says they're doing it so that they can get, more events, in those cities for revenue. But it's like there's only one Final Four a year. I mean, there's only one Super Bowl a year. Well, how many of these events are you guys getting in Cleveland or Chicago, any of these cities? So I don't know. Maybe they're just talking indoor concerts. I don't know. Nobody asked me. It's all about money, and I get it. But that would not be my preference at all.
So it's June. We got Father's Day coming up. And as we've talked about on the show with you before, future fans, great gifts for dads, for their kids. Tell us about it.
Well, I've told you guys before, your audience is incredible. So it's no wonder you guys have so many sponsors. 4 seasons. I thought it was 4 seasons like the hotel downtown for a second. Then I heard it was this incredible HVAC company, which is amazing. If I ever need HVAC services in Chicago, I'm going to use 4 seasons. But no, your audience is incredible. They know future fans by far the best Father's Day gift ever, because it's like you're giving a gift to your kid, but it's for you, and it's having them experience Chicago Bears fandom for years. Whether they're inside or outside, Illinois or Indiana, you're still going to be a Bears fan. And a lot of times, young people struggle to understand football, to learn it. I don't even think my daughters know it as well as I would like them to at this point, but maybe that's because I'm away every Sunday, but whatever. I digress. The point is, it's not as easy to get kids off their iPads and stuff like it used to be. Get the gift that keeps on giving forever, like the rest of your lives together in cold Soldier Field while it's snowing. Futurefans.com, futurefans.com.
Great stuff. Futurefans.com and the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, of course. CBS Sports. Ross, we're starting to see these practices, these OTAs, mini camps. It'll be here before we know it. Appreciate you jumping on.
Sounds great. See you, boys.
Thanks,
All right,
Ross.
Ross Tucker, always good to have him on the show. All right, we got to take our last time out of the show. We're going to come back. We've Bona Beef, another fine sponsor. We had this huge contest in May. They had this huge contest. We were just, sitting shotgun for it, and we have a winner to announce. I'm very excited.
He's in the studio. It's going to be awesome.
It's all coming up next, but first. Whether it's on the field or in your financial life, the best teams win by delivering excellence at every level. And at Old National Bank, they believe that every play matters. Just like Ben Johnson, all 70-plus plays per game.
That's exactly right.
Old National is bringing that same level of intensity and details, from everyday checking to long-term planning and commercial banking. Their team is here to build momentum and to help you move the ball forward. And it all starts with a plan tailored for you by professionals that you trust. From simple tasks to bigger financial moments, you can count on Old National Bank to coordinate your needs with steady, knowledgeable guidance that brings clarity and confidence to each step. It's a partnership designed to help you feel supported, not just today, but well into the future. So whether you're celebrating a win, rebuilding after a tough loss, or gearing up for whatever comes next, Old National Bank has your back with tools, insights, and an expert crew that's always in your corner. Old National Bank, member FDIC, where relationships and results matter.
And a shout out to our friends at Shady Rays. Yep, you know the moment when you're playing your harmonica and then all of a sudden you just lose the Shady Rays.
Someone grabs the harmonica out of your hand and chucks it, but accidentally knocks your sunglasses off at the same time.
Like tries to kill the harmonica but ends up breaking the shades. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Well, if it's a Shady Rays pair, you are good, because not only were you just sitting there with a seriously good-looking, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive beautiful Shady Rays, but yes, they will send you a brand new pair if you break them or if somebody else breaks them.
You need that for the harmonica because you keep losing it. I bet you wish that you had that same protection.
Shady Rays needs to start making harmonicas.
Yeah, that's true. And if they did, then you would have no guilt trip, just replacements, and I'd have this, and I wouldn't have had to pay for the second harmonica. Shady Rays is the eyewear that has your back. Go to shadyrays.com and use the code CHGO SR for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses.
As Ross Tucker so eloquently mentioned in the last segment, we love our sponsors.
We do.
But we especially love sponsors that have really good Italian beef.
We definitely do.
That ends up in our studio from time to time. And then we've been telling you about Bona Beef and the World Beef Championship now. We did it all month, and now we have the winner, which was officially announced off camera a little ago, a while ago here at our studios.
Thank you.
But Greg Hecimovich from Palos Park is here in our studio. We got to know how you did this, Greg. But first of all, congratulations.
Thank you. It was a process. I mean, I've done eating challenges before, actually.
Okay.
And this was one of the tough ones because this was a month long. It wasn't just a 1 day, 10-minute thing. It was a month long. I had 76 total.
76 beefs in the month of May.
I was eating, on average, three a day, sometimes 4 a day. I would break it up between lunch and dinner.
So you're a hero. Let's just get it. Let's just get it. Let's just
Okay.
you did it the hard way.
Yep.
Part of the Bone of Beef promotion was you could have gifted beefs. But you're like,
Right.
no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
Right here.
No,
right
no,
now.
I'm old school. You got to eat them. You can't give them away. And they're good.
Well, yes, but delicious. But 3 or 4
But
a
that
day.
should be emphasized because you could have bought 50 and brought them in
Right,
somewhere.
I could have.
But you consumed 76.
Yeah.
What do you put on your beef?
Typically jardinera and have it dipped.
A little.
Yep.
Okay. Now we
way to
can't see her, but she's here. As you were consuming these beefs, what
type of support
What
did
type of
she-
support did
yeah.
you have in these moments?
Initially, it was eye rolls and disbelief, but as I was progressing, she was backing me. She was definitely backing me towards the end.
Did you have any idea what number you had to get to? Like,
No,
you,
no.
So it was just
Had
you were
no
just,
idea.
You were in the wilderness.
Yeah, I mean, I was worried someone was going to cater a party and buy 100.
Right.
So
It
So-
ended up pretty close.
Yeah.
Second place was 72.
4.
74.
2 away.
Two away.
Yeah. And he
Very
was here
close.
too, and
Yeah.
I mean, they stared each other in the eyes, and it was a moment.
I mean, I feel sorry for the guy. I mean, he did a great job. He did a great job, but
Yeah. As you see the iceberg in the chat with the Greg chants, Greg Braggs was just here a second ago, and you met Greg because
Yeah.
he tried to share in your victory because
Yeah.
he's a Greg. Are you willing to share any of this moment in time with Greg Braggs, or are you offended that just because he shares the same name as you that he'd act like he's as good as you?
how many beef sandwiches did he have?
2.
Exactly.
It's a
Great point.
It's a fake. It's a faux pas. It's a penalty. It's a something. Hoge, why don't you figure out what?
I don't know. We'll work on that. Steven, do we have some of the footage of we had a little bit of a rooftop celebration here to celebrate
Yep.
Greg's amazing accomplishment. A little red carpet.
Yeah.
We had to go all in. You got Sears Tower in the background, all Chicago.
Yeah.
What was this moment like for you?
Disbelief. I mean, when I accepted the belt, I had to do the Rocky II speech.
Yes.
I just had to.
I mean,
And then Greg assaulted
Yeah.
you. Our Greg. Yeah. He does that from time to time.
I mean,
All good.
truly a moment that we're all going to remember forever, Greg. And and you brought it for us, so we congratulate you. What do you think is next for you in your eating life? Historic. You've got 40. You get what do you get a month now? $40 worth of.
$40 gift certificate every month for 3 years.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'll be eating a lot of bone of beef.
Now, I had sources tell me you're not a Bears fan. Is that correct?
This is true.
Okay.
Greg,
Would you like to
where'd you grow up?
Illinois,
An Illinois non-Bears fan. This is getting worse. And who do you root for?
Pittsburgh Steelers,
And
Tried
why
and
do you
true.
do that?
because they're their better organization.
Wow.
Oh, Greg.
Wow, shots fired. Now,
Nobody could dispute
could you
that.
explain why Aaron Rodgers was scared of playing the Bears last year at Soldier Field?
I mean, typically, here's the facts: the Steelers suck against the Bears. I mean, they do.
Yeah.
The Bears, the Steelers play down to the opponent's level, so they were horrible.
So you're saying they played down to the Bears level?
Yes.
The
So-
level that won the NFC North and made it to the divisional round, which I believe is one farther round than the Steelers have gone the last 4 years when they've made the playoffs.
So when let's just go through the list of Bears' recent Steeler contacts. When the Bears traded for Chase Claypool, what did you think?
Good riddance. Glad you took them.
I didn't hear a single person in Pittsburgh be like,
Well,
Yeah, no.
oh, that's a bad trade for us.
and when Justin Fields landed in Pittsburgh, what did you think?
I had hopes for him. Justin
Mm-hmm.
Fields did not stand a chance in Chicago. You don't have an O-line.
Mm-hmm.
You never have an O-line. That's your biggest issue, year in, year out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
why
it's-
didn't it work in Pittsburgh?
What's that?
Why didn't it work in Pittsburgh then?
Well, why did
Here's
they
the
punt
problem
on him?
with Justin Fields. organizations don't know what to do with him. He's got potential. He could have been the next Slash. You would think Pittsburgh would have had experience with that.
So you're a football guy.
Yes, a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
What's your number one sport?
Football.
Okay.
Well, we respect it. Congratulations on the championship.
What's that terrible sandwich that they eat in Pittsburgh that's not half as good as the beef that you eat here?
She does not like it. The Promenti Brothers.
Yeah.
The open face sandwich.
Yeah.
See, you're doing it way better.
This is why we do the dipped Italian beef from Bona here in
I agree.
in Chicago.
I agree.
You ever throw a sausage in there?
Oh, yeah. The combo is my favorite, actually.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, do the combo.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Just not
congrats
for the
again.
competition.
It's a hell of an effort by
Hold
you.
up the belt. Hold up the belt. Let's see it. Come on. There you go.
Yep.
I mean,
This is a fun
it's a real
promotion.
belt.
When we found out about that this was happening, I was like, this is incredible that people are going to do this. And they did it, and you won.
Yeah. I didn't think I was going to. I mean, I did this on a whim, honestly. Here I am.
Well, the whim got you the win.
Yeah.
Victory. All right, Greg. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Yes. All right, we will wrap up the show here with a little bit more talk. Greg, you can.
And we're going to bring the other Greg
ahead.
back in?
Okay.
He's busy producing.
Okay.
He's recording ads over there.
Yeah, he's on production duty
right.
for
He's on the
Hawk
Blackhawk show
today.
Yeah.
But thank you to everybody from Bona Beef.
Yes, thank
you
you,
guys have been
Bona
an
Beef.
awesome
You guys are
sponsor.
amazing.
Filmed some cool things with the winner today, and got the belt out of it. Now, who gets that belt? We get to keep that.
We can. I don't think that's been determined yet, but
Should we just keep giving it away as a daily prize for us?
I mean, Steven can maybe determine who had the best show, and then we could award the belt. It's a lot of pressure on you.
What, every show?
I mean,
So
why not?
if I had to give it away today, it would be Bragg's for he got this entire show ready. I had nothing to do with it outside of recording the ads.
That was a big job by
Yeah.
Gregory. There was a lot of moving parts today, and Greg.
now he's
and
doing
he
another
showed up
show.
at the studio for like the first time in 3 weeks. That was big too.
We'll put it in his seat.
You watch it with your vacation coming.
Oh, it's coming. it was negotiated, and
The week of June
all mine.
15th, it literally is me by myself. So
No, it's the Carman Stevens show. We're doing this.
Carmen, Steven, Pat Norton.
I did have an idea for themed weeks.
Yeah.
One of them was Carm Week. One of them's NFC North Week.
Okay.
One of them is we could do a Hoge Week. I don't know.
I mean, I got a lot of vacation that I'm taking to reset my life coming up here, so you just get ready.
Still waiting for you to give me those dates that I asked for a month ago.
Yeah, well, they're still up in the air, but just know it's coming. Mostly up in the air.
Well, make sure you check that calendar.
Well,
that
you didn't. No, I don't. I'm not taking. That's why I didn't give them to you, because on that calendar, I'm not taking any time off. Mine's in August.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's right. You take training camp off,
That's right. I give
which
you,
I mock you for, but it's actually helpful.
Yes, when it's hard to do shows because there's nothing going on, I'm here. When training camp, easy show. You guys,
Yeah.
there you go. Go ahead.
All right.
By the way, Donnie, you're invited to come in and do one of the shows. You're so good to me. Donnie wants to keep the Bears on the lakefront. Donnie's just the man. Everything Donnie does is amazing. Shout out Donnie.
Carman Stevens show is going to be pretty good.
We have
We're gonna-
big things planned.
We're gonna
Big
We're
things.
gonna duke it out. Is what's gonna happen.
Okay.
I'm gonna tee you up, and then I'm gonna try to take you down. It's gonna be a great.
Good luck, Carm.
Yeah, I know. It'll be right. It'll be a battle. Hoge, before we go, you want to say any last minute stadium thoughts on the way out here on a show that we're not talking stadium? Just out of curiosity.
We touched on it a little bit on Hogan Johns this morning. Go check it out. I'm just very interested in some of the politicians and their comments. Bill Cunningham on the score this morning. Chicago Bears have been difficult to deal with the entire time.
Can somebody?
The mayor told Paris Schutz that he had actual term sheets?
They
I
apparently were getting close to writing it up. Bears in Chicago.
Who's
Let's go.
telling the truth here? I'm as confused as I've been. It's wild. It's wild. But anyway, we need to wrap things up here on the show today, and we'll continue. Tomorrow's OTAs. So we'll have a show for you. OTAs. We're working on some guests too. There's going to be some stadium conversation.
Working on some big-time stadium
Big-time
guests.
So
Big time.
hang in there. I want to tell everybody about our golf outing if I can on the way out too, because that's coming up at the end of this month. It is my home course. I love this course. White Deer Run in Vernon Hills. Come on out. We're going to have a great time. Every single one of our golf events that we've done has been packed, full house. We have a good time. Greg cheats. Still doesn't win. It's a great time. Come on out.
I'm the two-time defending champion in this outing, by the way.
And
Just saying.
I also was saying,
forgot to mention Steven cheats.
I don't cheat.
Steven
My
complained.
friends are just better than you. I don't contribute much, but I'm there.
Speaking of better than me, did you guys hear Greg broke 80?
No,
I didn't.
I don't know if I was supposed to say that on the air, but I just did.
I didn't know that.
Greg Braggs broke 80.
That's the word.
I don't believe it. I don't.
I actually believe him.
I don't.
I believe him.
I'm going on the grin right now. We're going to find out.
There's
I'm
no.
surprised you didn't know that, Steve.
I didn't know. He didn't. Normally, he calls me when he has a good round.
Yeah.
There's no way that he putted out every hole and scored under 80. I refuse to believe that. That did not happen. With all due
I don't
respect.
know. Now, I
No
I
way.
cannot confirm. I was not with him. I do not know what his gimme rules are. I will say this: if you are truly trying to break 80, if you're at that level,
it
you
has
should be
to-
putting everything out.
Everything needs to be putted out. No way.
I agree.
Yeah. So I have not asked him that. I know he's been working on it, and I will give him no matter what. That dude has gotten incredibly good at golf, and I have no idea how he has the time to do it. I still have not played a full 18 this year.
I somehow was going through old videos on my computer because I have no space on my computer, and a video of Braggs at Wrigley Field in the batting cage popped up. And I mean, it wasn't great.
What?
He got to
I remember
with
this.
CHGO Cubs. He got to go and take BP. He had like 5 swings in there. Lifelong dream, never done it. It's amazing that he got to do that. Did you get to, have you ever done that? I've never done that.
No,
I do not see a round on here where he broke 80.
So he didn't submit it.
How would you not submit that one?
That's a great question.
It didn't happen.
Was this yesterday? Because it says he golfed.
Like, I'll have to check my
Later on
sources.
yesterday? Yeah, I
and I
don't
have one source, and it's Greg.
Yep.
So
the
I don't know who the witnesses were. I don't know who was with them. I don't know what was happening. I don't know if it was the mayor of Hammond.
The point on his why I'm bringing up the baseball is because his swing actually looked passable. Like, I give him a passable grade. And he took one swing lefty. Didn't hit the ball, didn't come close to hitting the ball. But, like, there was a level of athleticism that I historically would not have given Greg credit for.
Well, and I'll just say this on the way out because we do got to close out. Greg, when he started playing golf, looked like Charles Barkley. Okay, and so at the very minimum, he's got a respectable golf swing now. He's gotten better. He has. Here's the iceberg, $20. He's kind of. I don't know what this new bit is with all these quotes, but he did this on Hogan Johns earlier today too. We always appreciate the super chat. Cellophane flowers of yellow, green towering over your head. Look for the girl with the sun in her eyes, and she's gone. Paul McCartney.
He's a big-
flowers in yellow and green, towering over your head.
He is a big Beatles guy.
Look for the girl.
Iceberg, what's your favorite Beatles song?
Rising, she's gone.
Lucy. That's what
There it is.
Lucy in the Sky.
Lucy in the sky.
That's a good job. I would not have pulled that. Good job, Hoge.
We got to go. We got a meeting. Fun having Bona Beef in here. As always, congrats to Greg on winning the challenge. We will be back tomorrow. 4 o'clock show tomorrow, guys. We will be later. 4 o'clock show because we will be recapping OTAs at Hallis Hall. Should be a nice day out there. Always love watching football. We will tell you all about it. So tune in then. See you later.
We all silly like the mayor.